Is it possible to visualize your dreams into reality? Well, in this video, I'll share 4 key tips for doing it. What is up, you amazing human? My name is Ben Hart. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how to visualize your dreams into reality. If you dig the content I'm about to share, go ahead and hit the subscribe button below. And if there's anybody out there in the world you think might benefit from knowing how to visualize more powerfully, hit the like button, leave a comment. It'll help them find this video. Alright, so in this video I'm going to be sharing about visualization, which is a very powerful tool. And what I'll do is I'll share just a couple stories about powerful experiences I've had with visualization. Definitely had some very impactful things happen through visualizing that I think are important just to name, about part of the reason why I believe in visualization. And then I'll share 4 of the key things that I think are important to understand as you go into a visualization practice. To begin though, I just want to name that I don't hold visualization as like this magic wand that we wave and then we can manifest anything we want in reality. I think there are principles at play and ways to relate to it that are most powerful, which I'll go into in the tips. But I just want to name that from the get-go. So the way that I've experienced visualization, I first started visualizing more as a practice soon after I got out of college. And at that time, I was doing workshops in colleges on communication and leadership, and I was coaching, and I was really feeling into, wanting to be a guide, wanting to be a teacher in some way, but really feeling like I didn't have any mentorship in it, and I wanted to have a sense of, is this something that you could really make a great living at, and how would I go about that? And so what I did is I started waking up every morning and visualizing. And I'll share later the tips for how I actually did this, but I started visualizing working for somebody who was a very successful teacher, guide, coach, speaker, and just really seeing myself learning from this person, really receiving mentorship, really understanding the business side of it more, understanding how I could serve the world in a bigger way. And so I did that for every morning for a week, 10 days, and very quickly, 10 days in or so, I got a call from a friend who was telling me that this person we both knew, who was an older man who lived in this huge house outside San Francisco and was very wealthy in my eyes, was looking for basically an executive assistant, was looking for somebody. And I was like, oh, great, give me his number. And I called him up, and he was somebody who gave speeches and coached and ran workshops. And I called him up and I was like, listen, I hear that you might be looking for an assistant. And he said to me, he said, well, actually, I'm more looking for a mentee, somebody I can really just like share my knowledge with and teach what I do, which was just like exactly what I was picturing, exactly what I was calling in for myself. And so I began to work with this man and, worked with him for about a year or so and learned a ton, and it was a really, positive experience for me. Shortly into that experience, so, not shortly, but, 6 to 8 months or so, maybe even a bit longer, 10 months, I began to realize, this is actually a pretty isolating way to live. Like being a solopreneur, I hadn't really experienced it, seen it up close, and realized that it wasn't the lifestyle that I was wanting. I was wanting something where I was engaging with other people, where I was, on a team and doing impactful work in the same way that I felt called to do, but was just something more than just being, the one person who was running your own business. And so I started waking up every morning and I visualized working on a kick-ass team, being a part of an organization that was guiding and teaching and educating, but working with people I loved, and every day getting to have that interaction, getting to have the feeling of, being on a high-performing, fun team with people I loved. And very shortly after that, I can't remember the exact amount of time, 2 weeks, a month, whatever it was, through this man I was working with, I met his friends who were founding a company. And that company was the company I then went on to become part of for 10 years, called the Shift Network. So I met the founders, came in the first, right as they founded it in the first month, and then went on to, grow the company to 70 people and was the head of marketing and number 2 at the company, and just grew a ton through that experience. And it was exactly what I was visualizing every day, of being in an organization, doing impactful things, working with people I really enjoyed. So those are 2 just small examples of visualization that I took on in my life, practices I took on where I was visualizing what I wanted next in my life and then them really manifesting, really becoming my reality. And I share that to say that, it was really eye-opening for me when both of those things happened. And what I learned, and I then got more interested in visualization as a practice. How does this really work? What's going on? And also just dissecting what did I do that really felt right and really seemed to work for me. So I wanted to share 4 of the things I've learned from that experience and continuing on in my life. So first of all is, when you think of going into a visualization practice and you think about how do I bring my dreams into reality, look at visualization as a way to say yes to what lives in your heart. I don't see manifestation as like if I just sit down and start visualizing whatever I want, if I visualize $1 million, if I visualize a Ferrari outside or whatever the case may be, that it will necessarily happen. What I see visualization as me aligning with what is most true for me. So it's really, the opportunity in visualization is for me to really dig deep into and listen deep into and feel deep into, what do I most want for my life? What is really true for me, and use it as this opportunity to explore who and what you want to become, what you want to experience, what you want to do, what you want to have, and let it become alive in your mind. So first of all, use it as an experience and a practice to say yes to your dreams. Because what will happen is, so you'll start to visualize, and what I recommend you do is put yourself in the experience of living it. So, when they talk about visualizing powerfully, they talk about let yourself be there in the scene of your dream being manifest. When I was visualizing being at the Shift Network, when I was visualizing being on a high-performing team, I saw myself like walking through the halls and giving, people I was working with high fives and like feeling really accomplished about a project that was done and just feeling like touching tons of people's lives and all these things that I felt myself there. I saw the scene. I could feel it as I walked. I could feel it on my feet. I could hear the sounds of the laughter from people around me as we made jokes about things. And it's so, so important for you to feel it. Powerful visualization is about you feeling it. It's about you really merging with it and letting your whole system have the experience of being there, because your brain doesn't know the difference. If you visualize something powerfully, it's just the same as you right now watching this video. There's no difference. It's your brain is creating the experience of it. And so really let yourself deeply go into it, deeply feel it, deeply feel the scene that you want to live, and let yourself be there. And that will be it's a muscle to build. It's not something that you're going to be able to necessarily do really powerfully right away. But this is, a visualization practice. So it's something you do over time that gets stronger and stronger. So say yes to your dreams. Let yourself begin to explore them through your visualization and really put yourself there and let it become more and more tangible, more and more alive. The third tip is, as you do that, let the dreams evolve and clarify. As you say yes to them, as I'm saying, going into your heart, going into your deep being and discovering what is it that I most want for my life. Those things won't be necessarily totally clear in the beginning. That is something that will clarify over time. At every point in my life, anytime I've visualized, successively, consistently, it's something where it feels like this practice where I'm bringing together all these scenes, bringing together all these desires, and slowly they coalesce. It's oh, actually, that doesn't feel really true for me. That's not something I want as much. Oh, this feels really good. That's the scene that I want to begin to live into. That's where I want to go. And, it's so important, because what will happen is that as you let it clarify, it will become more and more palpable. Your ability to feel it will become more palpable. Your ability to revisit it and go fully into it and expand it and explore it, it will just become more and more powerful. And one key piece about this whole idea of exploring what's true for you and letting it clarify, is that quote of what you seek is seeking you. I really hold visualization in that way. I don't think of it as I'm manifesting whatever I want. It's like a magic wand. I feel it as I am aligning with what is really mine to be and do. I am listening deeply, and I am connecting to what do I most want. And I have a belief that what I most want is actually what life wants for me. Is actually seeking me, is actually where I'm trying to point my compass, and such that it becomes manifest in my reality. So the things that feel really good to visualize, the things that bring me most alive, are things that I really believe are seeking me, and I believe that for you. Really discover what are your dreams, what do you most want, and let yourself begin to visualize it and trust that there's almost like a magnetism happening where you, as you align with that, are being pulled toward it more and more. Does that make sense? Great. So what you seek is seeking you. Let it evolve, let it clarify as you are visualizing. So lastly, this whole idea of like clarifying, let it be a practice, as I've said. Let yourself visualize often. Visualize your dreams often. Because as I'm saying, over time, it will evolve, it will clarify, and as you do that, you'll become more and more connected to it. As your brain won't know the difference. If you can visualize something consistently and really put yourself there and feel the excitement of it, feel the joy of it, feel the nervousness of it. It's not always necessarily going to be like this amazing, incredible feeling. Like there might be times when you feel like something is true for your heart. Maybe it's like to give speeches, or maybe it's to write a book, or maybe it's to, be a parent, or whatever the case may be. And it might bring up anxiety. It might bring up nervousness. It might be like, whoa, I don't know if I can handle that right now. I don't know if I am somebody who can be that. And you might start sweating. Like your body will have the experience of like, whoa, that's big. That feels intense for me. But it feels true. It feels like what I really am calling in. It feels like what I am called to be and do. Great. So excitement, joy, nervousness, whatever the case may be, go there often. Make it a practice. Let yourself really swim in the sea of your dreams and the visualization and the feelings of it. The more you do that, the more you connect to the energies of it, and the more you can become that. And that's the final thing, actually. This is kind of like a fifth point tip here, is that, really, as I was saying, I don't hold it as a magic wand where I'm just like casting a spell for reality. I hold it as I am aligning with who I need to be for that dream to become real. So you can almost think of it as like, we often think if I do certain things, then I will have these experiences and then I will be that person. Like do, have, be. Well, a more powerful way that I've found to relate to reality is be, do, have. If I become the kind of person who has this experience, then I do the actions that are a part of that experience, and then I have the experience I'm wanting, or I have the things I'm wanting. So, for example, when I was visualizing being at Shift, I gave myself the experience of being somebody who worked for an amazing organization, who had teammates I loved, and who was making a difference for thousands of people every day. I was being that in my visualization. And so when the opportunity came, when the conversations came to become a part of that company, the doing felt very easy. It felt like a part of who I already was. It didn't feel dissonant to me to imagine stepping into that company, to imagine becoming a part of that. It was like, oh no, I am already a person who does this, who is this, who I be this, so I do this, and then all of a sudden I have it. And I really want you to hold it that way. Hold it as your visualization practice is you being what you want to become, is you being it such that when it's your ability to do the things that would create that, your ability to then have it is so much more easy. There's so much more ease and flow there. Okay? So again, let's say yes to your dreams and put yourself there in the dream and really feel it. Let it clarify and evolve over time, and visualize often. Let yourself really go there again and again and again. And as you do that, you're going to be it, such that you can do it, such that you can have it. All right, my friend, I wish you well in your visualization practice. May it be something that you revisit again and again, and there's so much just richness there as we explore our dreams, and it's something that you touch every day. Let it clarify. Just let yourself dream into it. Let yourself feel it. Let yourself be there. And who you're here to be, what you're here to do, what you're here to have will just become so much more clear, so much more manifest in your reality. So again, my name is Ben Hart. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you dug this content. Hit the like button, leave a comment if there's anybody out there you think would benefit from hearing this video. And I wish you a beautiful rest of your day. Bye for now.